Mar Thomas Liha, one of the 12 apostles of Jesus Christ, reached the shores of Malabar in the year 52 AD and proclaimed the good news of the kingdom of God to this land of Vedas and Upanishads. Through his efficient ministry, 7 communities of the believers in Jesus Christ were formed, marking the beginning of Christendom in India. The faith in the Trinitarian God, handed over by Mar Thomas Liha, was kept alive and transferred through generations. Overcoming various obstacles faced during the centuries, the Thomistic tradition, or Marthoma Margam, continued to flourish in India.
Modern history of the Archeparchy begins with the conferring of vicariate status on 20th May 1887 by Pope Leo XIII through the bull Quod Iam Praedam.
From 1887, the Archeparchy was guided by men of faith, wisdom, and piety. Reverend Charles Levine SD was the first vicar apostolic of the vicariate. He changed their residence from Kottayam to Changanacherry.
Mar Matthew Makil succeeded him as the first indigenous bishop of the vicariate.
His successor, Mar Thomas Kurialasheri, served as a bishop from 1911 to 1925. After him, Mar James Kalasheri served the eparchy for 25 years from 1925.
His legacy was continued by Mar Matthew Kavugat, who was renowned as a living saint in his lifetime, is a servant of God now. He served from 1950 to 1969 as the Metropolitan, and it was in his time that this eparchy was elevated to the status of an archeparchy. Following him, Mar Anthony Padiara served as a Metropolitan from 1970 to 1985.
In 1985, Mar Padiara was transferred to the Archeparchy of Ernakulam Ankamali and appointed Cardinal, and eventually the first major Archbishop of the Syro-Malabar Church.
Mar Joseph Pavatil succeeded him at the Episcopal ministry from 1985 to 2007, and with reverence and remorse, we remember his recent departure to eternal rest.
At present, the Archeparchy sets the sail under the spiritual guidance of Archbishop Mar Joseph Perindottam. This Archeparchy comprises of 213 parishes divided into 18 forains with almost 500,000 faithful. There are altogether 494 ordained diocesan priests in the Archeparchy, among whom 433 are still in active service in and out of the Archeparchy. There are 188 seminarians, and among them, 82 are in the minor seminary, and the other 106 are doing theology and philosophy studies in different seminaries. There are 19 men religious congregations and 52 women religious congregations engaged in various spiritual, pastoral, and charitable activities of the Church in this region.
In this ecclesiastical territory, 16 arts and science colleges, 8 teachers training institutes, 2 media education centers, 8 technical education centers, 7 cultural academies, 11 institutes for studies in religious sciences, and 3 study and renewal centers for women religious are functioning efficiently.
46 higher secondary schools, 70 high schools, 181 other schools, 37 hostels, 9 boarding houses, 14 orphanages, 22 hospitals, clinics and laboratories, 51 care homes, 3 palliative care centers, 4 de-addiction centers, 8 homes for the physically challenged, 7 houses for the terminally sick, 4 family counseling centers, 6 museums, 5 retreat centers, 13 social work centers, 4 printing presses, 6 bookstalls and publishing houses, 1 Malpanate, 9 seminaries and a matrimonial site, and many other movements and associations are run by the Archeparchy and by the religious congregations in the territory.
This Archeparchy comprises of diverse geographical areas, of which some are below sea level, Kuttanad, which is also called the Venice of the East, some others on the slopes of the Eastern Ghats, some others on the coastal regions, and the rest in the Midland.
Our parishes are located in the cosmopolitan cities like Trivandrum, Kollam, towns like Kottayam, Alleppey and Changanacherry, in the suburbs and in the villages. People of various religions, especially Hindu, Islam and Christian, live harmoniously in this region.
The strong presence of different Christian denominations in our territory include the Orthodox, Jacobite, Mar Thoma, and the CSI churches, along with different Protestant denominations.
Ever since its inception, this Archeparchy was committed to follow the commandment of the risen Lord to go to the ends of the world to preach the gospel. The first fruit of its southern mission, which was called Kanyakumari Mission, is now the thriving diocese of Thakale in the state of Tamil Nadu. Its North Indian mission in Etawah in UP and Jaipur in Rajasthan, which forms as a single unit, is flourishing with various services to humanity. Virudnagar is another mission taken up by the Archeparchy in the state of Tamil Nadu now.
This Archeparchy always had a maternal concern to her flock who stayed outside the confines of the diocese. Initiatives to give pastoral assistance to the Syro-Malabar migrants in Hyderabad, Saudi Arabia, and South Africa were initiated out of this concern.
This Archeparchy was a pioneer and forerunner in the initiation and functioning of various movements and organizations such as the Youth Apostolate, Family Apostolate, and Catechetical Department, and the like. It also started training institutes for family ministers, Khana at Tirupati, for formators, Danahalaya at Punnapura, for missionary orientation and Oriental theological formation for sisters and others, MOC at Manganam, for religious formation, Amala Theological College at Parel, and for Higher Institute of Religious Sciences for laity, Mar Thoma Vidyanigetan at Changanacherry. They all witness to the far-sightedness and vision of our metropolitans. There are other departments for pastoral works, such as the education through its colleges and the corporate management of schools, Bible Apostolate and Kudumba Kutayama, cultural heritage, community awareness and rights protection, CAR, social development through Changanacherry Social Service Society, CHAS, Jeeva Karunya Nidhi and care homes, healthcare facilities through the hospitals run by the Archeparchy, social communications, book apostolate, ecumenism, and dialogue.
The empathetic and effective response to the catastrophic disaster of Great Flood in 2018 was a remarkable one. For the rescue, relief and rehabilitation, and other developmental projects, more than 100 crores of rupees was spent by the Archeparchy with the support of different agencies.
This Archeparchy has given birth to canonized saints, Saint Alphonsa, the first woman saint of India, Saint Kuriakos Elias Chavara, Venerable Mar Thomas Kurialacherry, and servant of God, Mar Matthew Kavukat, the former bishops of this Archeparchy, and servant of God, Puttanparambil Thommachan. Priests, religious, and laity of this diocese do witness to the gospel values with their saintly and virtuous life in the hope of resurrection. Adherence to the liturgical ethos proper to the tradition of the individual church is the defining characteristic feature that sets this Archeparchy. This Archeparchy and its metropolitans have played a pivotal role in the restoration of the proper liturgical traditions of the Church. The first priority of this Archeparchy has always been the preservation and celebration of the purest form of liturgy.
For this, liturgical catechesis is given systematically to the faithful, religious, seminarians, and priests.
This Archeparchy was always faithful to the Catholic Church and to the Syro-Malabar Synod. The motto of the Archeparchial Day celebrations, "We are one family in the Archeparchy," reflects the communion sense prevailing in the Archeparchy. Palliyogams in parishes, foreign councils, and Archeparchial Pastoral Council, Archeparchial assemblies are forums which help to carry out the joint ministry of the priests, the religious, and the laity. The Archeparchial Assembly, convened by Bishop Charles Levine in 1888, is the first one in the history of Syro-Malabar Church.
Today, we are very glad to specially mention two of the significant pastoral programs initiated by Archbishop Joseph Peruntotam.
First, the 5-year pastoral plan started in 2017, a pastoral program based on the various seasons of the liturgical year of the Syro-Malabar Church with its two main aims: the continuation of the pastoral ministry in the parishes and institutions, and the coordination of the pastoral ministries in the whole Archeparchy.
Second, the celebrations related to the 1950th anniversary of the martyrdom of Mar Thomas Leha. In the presence of the Apostolic Nuncio to India, His Excellency Archbishop Leopoldo Girelli, we solemnly conclude these special programs and celebrations related to them.